Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to a little episode of Real Country with Jeff and Melanie. This morning, it's early February, and we fixing to get ready to try to grow some sweet potato slips. Get the process started, so a little bit later on, we'll try to raise us some sweet potatoes. Now, some places around the country, you can go buy these at the store, but down where I'm at, I may need to pour a little out before I'm done, I haven't had any luck finding slips. So we're going to start them in a jar and grow our own slips. Just thought we'd make this little video and kind of show y'all what we do in case you don't have a local place, feed store, or nursery where you can pick them up at. Like I said, we're down here in the south in Alabama, about middle Alabama, I guess you'd call it. And here in February, we're getting a few nights every now and then in the 30s or 40s, but it's not rough. And like today, it was about 38, 39 this morning when we got up, right as the sun was coming up. But here it is about 10 o'clock and it's already up in the 50s. So we're having little cool nights, nothing bad. Mainly right now we're averaging 40s or low 50s, but it's not bad. And the way our place is set up right now, normally we would put these in the jars of water to help them grow the slips, develop roots. You'd leave them like on a windowsill where the sun would keep them warm. But our place isn't set up quite that way. So what we're going to do is put them in the jars, and during the day, once the chill of early morning's over, we're going to bring them out here and set them. Our front yard area around this picnic table is in full sun most of the day. And then what we'll do is right before sunset, we'll bring them in the house to keep them at a constant temperature. And then repeat it, the next day. Now, of course, if it's down to freezing, we won't put them out. But basically, you just go to the store and get you some good old sweet potatoes. And then you just take you some toothpicks and basically go about halfway up the potato and just stick you a few toothpicks. I like to use about 3. Kind of space it around. And all this is going to do is help hold it where it don't sink to the bottom. Uh-oh, I just dropped a toothpick. Ain't no big deal. But just kind of about halfway, like that. And I like that when you already see like a little slip trying to come out, that's the part I want to put in the water. So we're just gonna, this one's kind of tight, that's the biggest one I have. But you want your potato about halfway in the jug. And I'm going to add just a little bit of water. And you want to keep it full. Keep your potato at least halfway soaked. That's why I'm out here doing it on this so I don't mess up the house. And do this with all your potatoes. Now I may later on go get me some more so we can have more slips, but you'll generally get, last time we did this, about 15 to maybe 20 slips off each potato. And like I said, we just go about halfway, just enough to hold them up out of the water. I hope the camera's picking all this up. There we go. And then like I said, just top it off, try to keep the potato about halfway wet. And you just leave them like this. Try to keep them in good warm sunshine the best you can. And in about 2 weeks with a good hot temperature, you'll start seeing the little slips, little blooms will run out from the bottom and actually come up toward the top of the potato. And it'll take you about, like I said, about 2 weeks for that to happen. And when they get up and they're about 5 to 6 inches tall, then you want to take them and gently break the slips off as close to the potato as you can. Let's see here. I lost a couple of toothpicks. I'm going to have to get some more out. But break them off about halfway. Let me shake me out a couple more here. My handy dandy toothpick dispenser. There we go. Alrighty. Thought I was being smart and had them already laid out. I made a mess, which is about normal. But yeah, about 2 weeks, they'll get up about 5 or 6 inches if everything goes well. And then you break them off as close to the potato as you can, and then you take those slips and put them in another jar. And basically, you don't stab them, but you stick them in there with the top sticking out and keep the bottoms of them soaked in the water in the sun, just like you're doing with these. And then roughly in about 2 weeks, you'll have roots, and then you'll be ready to plant when the time is right. Alright, let me see how good my skills are picking up this camera here. I'm going to flip it around, and that's basically, that's basically all you do. You want them out in full sun, and I don't have it in full sun right at this second, but I will in just a couple of minutes. And let them get as much direct sunlight as you can. And like I said, today we should be up in the low 70s. That's the pleasure and the horror of the South. We don't have much of a winter, but it goes straight to summertime, and it won't be long, possibly a month at the most. I'm afraid we'll be up in the 90s or higher, and then we'll bake until probably September or October. It's a good growing season if the weather cooperates, but it is hot, and it takes a lifetime to get used to it, and then you never do. But hopefully these will do what we need them to do. They'll sprout out, give us the slips, we'll break them off, we'll transplant them to another jar, let the roots develop, then we'll take them out and put them in the ground. And we live in, area 1 according to the Old Farmer's Almanac, and the best time they have for us to plant our sweet potatoes is between March the 23rd up to April the 7th. And if you go by the Old Farmer's Almanac, and I'm going to try that as much as I can this year. I can't stick to it because our weather's crazy. If I stick exactly to it, we'll never have anything. But the perfect day, this moon favorable, is April the 7th. And so we're going to try our best somewhere in that time frame, and if it'll work out and the weather will let me, we'll shoot for April the 7th. But I just thought I'd mention another thing. According to the old country farmers that I grew up with, the best time they tried to plant their regular potatoes, baking potatoes and French fry potatoes and all the other kind of boiled potatoes, the whites and the reds, we tried to have them in the ground by Valentine's Day. Now I ain't saying I will, depends on a lot of factors, but I'm going to try to shoot for that. And here's another trick. Now where I live, you can get seed taters. But basically all they're doing is they're buying potatoes and they let them sit until they sprout eyes, and then they bag them up and sell them to you. And I've never really had that great of luck with them. So what we always did, and I'm going to step over here and see if we can show you this. We literally just went to the grocery store, and here's some russet potatoes. And I hope we can see this. My sun's in my eyes right now, blinding me on the camera, but right here by my thumb, we just left these in the bag in the house, and they're already sprouting eyes. Already. Now I want more of them, and if you see right here, where's my finger? There we go. There's little ones starting to develop. The bag gets the humidity on it, and they'll sprout. I've got some red potatoes right here that are basically right here by my thumb. You can see they're trying to do a little bit. Now, these were some we just flat didn't get to cook in time. And let's see, right there, those have got good long sprouts. And all we're going to do is, when the time is right, now let's see if I can turn this around and let you see ugly old me for a minute. Alright. Whoa, there we go. When the time is right and the weather conditions are good, we're going to just take those and take your pocket knife and just cut you off a little square, little plug of that potato with that eye on it sticking up. Lay off your rows. I like to build a terrace. Now this year I'm also going to try planting some in 5-gallon buckets. So, or some kind of a raised bed situation, maybe buckets, maybe just a raised bed. I might even try some car tires. I've heard people doing that. But you just build you up a mound of soil, cut you off a little plug, stick it in there, and place it with the sprout sticking up, and then cover it up and let it do its work. And that's how we've grown potatoes since I was a boy. So those, we're going to try to get them started if the sprouts pop out in time by Valentine's Day, and if the weather will cooperate. And hopefully we'll show you, have videos all during the process of the sprouts coming. We'll do a little update every couple of days, maybe twice a week, all the way through to planting them, and then all the way through to harvest. And hopefully we can enjoy us a lot of taters for some French fries and some boiled taters and some good old sweet potatoes with some brown sugar on it and butter. But folks, that's just another little quick video. It's about time for us to start getting ready for spring and farming. And with the rising cost of everything this year, you better be growing your garden, because we're already seeing there's times, especially ever since COVID started, supply and demand chains are breaking down, prices are going through the roof, and you probably could hear some of my chickens in the background. Price of eggs, it don't hurt to have a couple of hens in the backyard to keep you an egg. And right now with the short days, we're really not getting a whole lot, but we're getting 1 to 2 a day. I've only got 3 hens that are mature enough to be laying, so we're lucky to get about 2 a day. We've got some juveniles that hopefully by late spring, early summer, they'll start, producing. I give them the old pep talk every day. Need some eggs, girls, or we might have to go see Colonel Sanders. But folks, thank y'all for watching. We appreciate it. Hope you like it. Hope you learned a little bit. Stick with us. We're going to take it all the way through. And if the good Lord's willing, the creek don't rise, we'll see y'all next time here on Real Country with Jeff and Melanie. Thank y'all.